Hello YouTube, this is Kelby Bugner here with another review. On this one, I'm gonna start off a little bit different. So this car right here is a 2004 Volkswagen Jetta wagon. These cars are very rare to find in this era of Jetta, period. This is the last German-made Volkswagen Jetta that was ever offered in North America. So crazy backstory about this car. If you guys are from the South Florida area, this was listed for sale for quite a price. And pretty much I ended up negotiating with the owner and ended up buying it. But it's just funny how when you buy a car from someone and they're not particularly honest. Not trying to say who the guy is. He probably knows who he is and he probably knows everything about this car. But this gentleman had this car listed for about 4 grand. So since he had listed for 4 grand, I reached out to him and I just shot him an offer. I was like, look, man, I'll buy your car from you for 2 grand. So he ha-ha'd me and then never hit me back. And then a week or two later, he hits me back and is like, yo, I'll take you on that offer. So I was like, really? You will? Just like that. I was like, dang, all right, cool. Let me come take a look at it. He's like, oh yeah, man, come through. You're gonna like it. So I drive all the way, pretty much an hour away from where I live, and go look at this car. I mean, came and saw a little bit of imperfections, I would say, a little bit of rust. This is like really surface rust, but not too worried about it. The car was like a basic car, you know. He said the only issue that was wrong with this car was the rust right here. Other than that, the car is great. So upon road test, I take the vehicle for a nice test drive. Oh yeah, I forgot about this. So this was never in the listing. However, he did mention there was a rust. It wasn't until when I stepped inside of the car. Well, it was actually a lot cleaner than what you see here. Is when I looked and saw doesn't have a glove box. And then when I pushed my head deeper and I was like, I go sit in the car and look at everything. Everything looks nice. Actually, this is mine. This is, well, I see that the glove box is missing. The lid right here is broken. Overall, it's a nice car. The back headrests are missing, which is fine. I actually sat in the car, was amazed, found Alcantara here too. So I'm like, okay, he most likely has an Alcantara headliner for me. Okay. So I see the glove box missing, lids here missing. So when I drove the car, I was like, wow, it drove nice. He told me all the upgrades. He put a KO4. If you guys are familiar with Volkswagen, he put a KO4 turbo in there. The car originally came with a KO3 and installed a KO4. That's what he says, probably in his listing as well. And the car boosts well, yo. Pull up the boost. It boosted up to 20 psi. So I'm like, wow, the car drives great. So I was like, you know what? I'll take it, you know? So I take the car. I'm sorry, not even that day. The next weekend, I was getting my weekend ready to pick it up. I go pick it up, get dropped off. And then on the way driving back, I decided to go fill up at the gas station because they already had like a quarter tank left. I was like, you know, let me top it off. I got me a nice new car. I could like putt to work, you know, something to get me by. I don't have to drive the 7 for so long. As for the engine now, he told me a lot that he's done to the car. He put a KO4 turbo. Everything looked good. I saw that the valve covers was all wet, but if you looked in it, the valve covers were practically new. He said the timing belt was done already. I pulled it back. Looks fairly good. So I was like, all right, no big deal. I'll change it most likely when it starts giving problems. Notice this right here. He told me, yeah, keep it closed. It's broken or whatever. So I'm like, no big deal. So on the way home, my first issue I had with the car, 30 minutes in, I stopped at the Shell gas station on the highway to get some gas. And then when I started it up, I was fine. Got on the highway. And once I got on the highway, it drove perfectly fine. And I was like, you know what? Let me stop at my boy's shop, look a good look over it, and see what I purchased. So I went over to a friend of mine's shop, and as soon as I get off the exit, I stop at the first light. Yo, the brakes are so hard right now. The boost gauge is fluctuating like crazy. It's popping. It drives fine so far, man, but it's not idling right. It started bucking, hesitating. I'm like, dang, what's going on? So I pull over, and the whole time it wouldn't even stay idle. Every time it idle, it would just like, if you give it gas, it's fine. So to that concern, I kind of suspected what it might be. It felt like a huge boost leak the whole entire way. So I was like, okay. I came out, looked around, didn't see anything out of the ordinary. I saw this is actually dirty right now, but it was pretty clean when I purchased the car. But I ended up finding this culprit right here. So to be honest with you, I didn't say I found it. The owner found it, because I was pretty pissed off that I drove back to the guy and complained and say, hey, bro, man, like, you told me everything was good on this car. Come to find out, boom, that hose was actually bad. Actually, right now, it still currently is bad. It will be fixed coming up soon. This hose right here goes to the intake manifold, and it was collapsed. It was softened. Like, you could like crumble it. That's how I was like, are you serious? So anyways, I ended up going to the repair store and AutoZone and getting like a 1 foot long hose, cut it and fit it in. Fits perfectly, drives great. It actually performed a whole lot better. It was quieter. This car also had a brand new alternator, brand new compressor. Dipstick was broken, had oil in it though. Everything looked good, man. If you look at the car around here, especially on Mark IVs, this hasn't been touched, man. So I was like, okay, I was overall impressed. And all these leaves are from me, to be honest with you, man. But this car was clean when I got it. So even the power wire, this thing, you know how these melt. These are all brand new. Everything was pretty standout on the car. If you didn't even see, even the axles were new. So this car really stood the time. Was very convincing for me to purchase it. Even the brakes, tires were good. Tires were very good, and they weren't even regular tires. They were Falcons all around. The rear brakes had to be done. So overall, this car was like a deal. So here is the trunk, and that's what got me so interested in this car. He even had this piece on there. And yeah, cargo net looks good. I actually put this actually came from my old Volkswagen. A little stool in case if I go to the beach and I want to sit down somewhere. Spare tire, I saw that. I felt like that going to be an issue. Wasn't too concerned though, but if I could show you, which is right here, still has all the hardware. That was good, and even it's a good brand new tire too. So I felt like that was a blessing when I saw that. It has coolant in there, because you know how Volkswagens are with coolant. They're not the best. Right there, this right here, I forgot what this is. I actually ordered this. Oh look, it's wet. It's the intake temperature sensor, because I actually thought it was that, but come to find out, it was actually the unplugged intake temperature sensor. And on this side, which is the first aid kit, I actually do have a first aid kit. He actually left that in there. Extra coolant, but actually I do have a first aid kit, because if you know about Volkswagens, they love giving away with first aid kits. But other than that, man, the car was great. So day 3 of driving. Oh, I forgot to even tell you the best part, and I still purchased it. That was on me. This was the exhaust system that I purchased the car with. So when I purchased the car, I noticed that it had a no exhaust on the car. So I was like, okay, you know what? I'll buy the car, but you got to get the exhaust system put back on, because I can't drive it like this because it's too loud. The car drove superbly well, okay? But it was loud. So upon our agreement, this guy went ahead and got the exhaust on. Called me, even sent me a video. Oh man, car drives great, man. It's quieter. Makes me don't even want to sell it. Ha 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 ha. All that stuff.
Damn, this thing sounds way better. I might just keep it now. Jeez.
So when I came and saw it, I was like, wow, okay, that sucks. And I saw that, I looked underneath it. It was quieter. It was quieter, for sure. But I did not see this until when I physically looked at the exhaust after it was done. This guy swore to me, and that's why you can't take people's word for it nowadays. Cannot take people's word for it by any means necessary. But this is what he told me when I asked him. I was like, yo, man, this thing doesn't rub on the ground. It sits low. If you're thinking this is the scratch, no, my friend. That's the scratch. That right there was sitting so low that every single time it kept hitting. And I was like, yo, man, the whole drive I was thinking to myself, did I make the right decision? I even found this. You guys can see it. It's split. So that had a huge exhaust leak. So I was like, all right, no problem. But luckily, though, I found the guy on Facebook Marketplace and purchased a 3-inch exhaust kit for exactly the same year and everything. The guy had a Jetta. I think he said he blew his engine, which I hope doesn't happen to me. But he says that he blew his engine and he's going to put it on. And long story short, I got it. So what brings me here to make this video is that when I purchased this car, everything that was described, I still have not seen yet, other than the fact that it does drive good and it does ride smooth. It drives good when it's driving, but when it's, I just gotta explain. So the issue that I'm having, and coming from my background in good old Volkswagen, I kind of have an idea of what happened and what he did about it. So the issue that I'm having right now is that every third drive cycle, this car goes into limp mode. And the only fault that I have is a turbo to inlet diverter valve fault. It does have a new diverter valve, as you can see. Again, unless he wiped the hell out of it, it was clean. The whole engine was clean. I've been driving it because I figured out how to keep it like running where I could maintain it, but it's not normal to anybody. So every third drive cycle, it's like the Jeepers Creepers car. I might as well put a Jeepers Creepers sticker or license plate frame on it. But every third drive cycle, this car will leave you stranded. And what I'm telling you is, you could start up the car and it'll run completely fine, no check engine lights, and you could drive all the way to work, probably 35 an hour. I drove an hour from picking it up when I purchased it. Park, chill for a couple hours, let's say 8 hours of work. Don't drive until you get off of work. You get off work and you get back in the car and drive back home, and yeah, it'll take you there. But say if you want to, hey, let me go to the store real quick. Say if you're driving home and you stop at like the grocery store and get something at the store, there's a possibility that you may not be able to get out that parking lot. What happens, and it's happened to me 3 times, one, leaving my job because I went to lunch with it. 2 is when I stopped at the grocery store to grab something to eat. That was a true story. And 3, when I figured out how often it does it. This car pedal will stop working. Oh yeah, by the way, I install these. Yo, the price I pay for these is so ridiculous. These are like GLI pedals. The dead pedal I should have purchased as well, but I didn't even think about this one, man. But I can't find it by itself, but I'll tell you where in another video. So again, this car has no fault. So I replaced the O2 sensor. Oh, and it was missing an O2 sensor. The intake temperature sensor was disconnected. Vacuum hose obviously was blown. I actually ordered from Volkswagen a kit where it brings all of the vacuum hoses for this car. So it's coming in. It's all the check valves and all that stuff. All the lines is one whole big kit. Got that coming in. So that should be good. But I don't know. I am pretty confident that the person that owned this car before I did knew everything absolutely well. And the reason why I say that is because when I purchased the car and I was like, you know what, settle everything down, start putting my stuff in there. I got my punching glove up in there. I looked at the clock, that clock, and you see it's 10:51. Nope, actually, it's 4:36. But check this out. That's how I knew he knew. Because when I purchased the car, that clock was wrong. And if you drive your car every single day, this big ass clock is right here, you're not gonna set it. That indicated to me that, oh, he knew. Because every time I came to the car, he unlocked the door, and we started it, and good to go. All of a sudden, you have a wrong time. And the reason why it's wrong for me right now is because I have to disconnect the battery every third time to keep the car running. So that tells me, and you're probably going to say it in the comments, but that tells me that I need a new ECU. Let me know in the comments. But nothing against the guy. I'm not going to lie. The encounter in the beginning, everything was peaches and cream. Like, he sounded like a guy I could be really good friends with, because we were talking about like cars and being a tech and people we knew, and it was pretty cool, man. So nothing against this guy. I'm not even upset. It's all on me. Like, I chose this car, you know what I'm saying? He didn't like force it on me or whatever, you know, or Alamoed it on me or whatever you want to call it. But he basically gave me a pretty decent car, but he was very not forthcoming when mentioning the ECU issue. And crazy as it is, I should let you read the comment that he sent me when I asked for, hey, when can I pick up or receive this the headliner? And he offered an extra transmission for the car. He offered to give that to me with the car. This man still has not called me back, where he said, let me give you a call next weekend. And when I asked for it, he told me that he's doing me a favor, that he doesn't have to give it to me because he's doing me a favor. If you don't believe me, I can show you in the messages. But again, the moral of this story is, when you're purchasing a car, watch out, because there is a reason why these people want to get rid of their cars. And this shows testament that he got rid of this car for a damn good reason, because ironically, the keynote that made me want to get this car, AC does work. AC works great. It works so great that sometimes it frosts up the windshield. Like, it's nice. But yeah, he wasn't forthcoming with the issue with the ECU, because it's crazy. I don't know if anybody ever noticed it. It had this issue before. I'll let it be known. Every third drive cycle, this the RPM you try, and then sometimes it'll let you like drive home on like one gear or whatever. It has no power. Like, I have to hold the gas pedal to let it keep climbing, and eventually it does climb the operating speed, which is great. But sometimes it doesn't do that. Sometimes nothing out the pedal. It'll start up and cut off. Matter of fact, I have a video right here. All right, I'm gonna attempt to start it. No throttle, anything. Just clutch in, start. Yeah, man. But the car, it boosts up to 20 PSI. It's a great car. Don't get me wrong. So, thank God for my background into Volkswagens. But guess what? I'm going to have a little mini series right now just for this car until I get it running right, because I know people have had issues with this car. That's why you probably don't see them on the road, especially the 1.8s. I know everybody, even as a tech, I knew that those cars are very prone to issues or whatever, but when it comes to these cars, there's one key item you always need for a Volkswagen, especially for this generation, right? Well, any generation, really. For Volkswagen in general, I wouldn't say any generation, but especially, that's what I meant to say, was especially for this generation. But this device right here, it's called VCDS Lite, or it used to be called VAGCOM. This item right here, it's this item right here. VCDS, and yes, I do have the light version, but VCDS, there's a regular version. It used to be called Rostec, I believe, a while back, but this right here is a Volkswagen Audi's best friend. You could actually do everything but program keys on this car, what the factory dealership scanners can do, which is pretty awesome, and I have that for this car. So when I checked this car originally when I bought it, I should have brought this laptop, but I could not find it. I found it, and then I realized I should have brought it with me because I would have known everything I needed to know. But in all honesty, everything that he did mention was pretty accurate, apart from the stalling, cutting off part. The main issue was that, and he did not disclose that. I promise you, especially for having it at the price where he had it listed. That's the part that got me. Don't want to get into it, but what I'm going to do, I'm going to try to figure out and let you know how this thing works. And this thing's pretty badass. So right now, key on engine off. If I want to do anything about the engines, click engines. It actually tells you any module what this car has, it'll get into. Let me turn the radio down, but yeah. It'll actually even pull up the part number for the ECM, the VIN number for the vehicle. It's pretty cool. So in Volkswagen, there's this part called readiness code. So far the vehicle will check over, when you scan it, it'll let you know everything that's functioning and passes the test. So when I purchased this car, the oxygen sensors, both of them did not pass, but everything else passed. So the EGR system works great. The oxygen sensors, which the car has no catalytic converters, the oxygen sensors are there, but no catalytic converters, those passed. And air conditioning. The secondary air injection failed, which is pretty normal. And the evap emission system failed because, hell, it has no cats. And catalytic converter failed or incomplete because there's none there. But this car needs to be 0-0. So it'll run fine just like this, because at some point cars did not have these all together. So the car will run fine without it. The only issue where I see, like, where everything else passed and the car keeps putting itself in limp mode is either the boost leak that it still currently has, or it needs an ECM, because a boost leak wouldn't put the car in limp mode, but a boost leak, especially on a Volkswagen, could cause a lot of crazy things. So we'll see on upcoming episodes. This is the first one, I would say. I'll probably make a video probably this weekend again. Sorry that I haven't made much in videos or content lately. I've been very busy this 2024 year. So I appreciate all the subscribers I have so far, and looking out to have more subscribers. So please like, share, and subscribe. Thank you for watching, and you guys have a wonderful day. All right, so to prove now that the ECM is faulty, you saw that it only had 2 faults, right? And do those seem deemable to kill the throttle of the vehicle? No. So I'm going to show you what it does, and if it does it, I will have to do a capacitive discharge. I actually keep it in the door jamb. Oh my gosh. It's this bad boy right here, because I have to do a capacitive discharge every time I start the car. So this is the problem that I'm facing right now. So let's see if it does it. If it does it, I think I lost my one opportunity to put gas in this car. But I'm gonna push down on the clutch and I'm gonna start it. If it cuts off, that's it. I gotta do a capacitive discharge. But if it runs, I'm pretty good to where I need to go right now, and then it'll cut off there. That, I promise you, it will do that. But I have to do a capacity discharge anyway because as it is, I really don't trust it. So, moment of truth. Oh wow, it stayed running. I mean, okay. Oh, there we go. Here we go. What's this? If I give it gas, yeah. It's not. Watch me. If you can see my foot and watch the tack move. Well, okay. I feel like it is surging though, but I'm gonna start it again later and see what happens. I'm gonna start it again like around 8 o'clock tonight and see what happens. If it runs, I'm gonna leave it for work tomorrow. But it does do that. I promise you.